even as allies suggest sticking to it for the moment. A mason working in a neighbouring construction site is arrested for the murder of 26-year-old child from Mandaveli last Friday. Roll out the red carpet for the visiting US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's first ever Vanakkam Chennai will feature student interactions. More than a week after the launch of a special cell on land grab, more than 90 cases are reported and 18 put behind bars.
Close to about 90 cases which have been received during last fortnight.
The Madras High Court placed frowns on encroachments, orders the removal of the same on the busy pavement of the NSE Bose Road in 2 weeks' time. And number this, the urbanization of Chennai stands at 100%. The city houses over 4 million people, accounting for 9.3% of India's urban population. Good evening and welcome to the Primetime Bulletin that sets pace to all of the day's happenings and updates and brings you all of it in a concise 13-minute capsule. I'm Evelyn Matthew, joining you this Tuesday night with the headlines now. These are the national headlines as well. India and the United States still have major sticking points on nuclear issues. Hillary Clinton links a clean waiver to Washington's liability concerns. No free passes or safe havens for terrorists. Mrs. Clinton says she also has wide-ranging talks on the US drawdown in Afghanistan. Rupert Murdoch's son, James and Rebecca Brooks, is grilled by a UK MP's committee in the phone hacking scandal. The Delhi police asked for the Lok Sabha Speaker's permission to question Amar Singh in the cash for vote scam. And Vijay Mallya says despite Bhaji suing UB Spirits for spoofing him in a TV ad featuring Dhoni, it will stay. A day after the Madras High Court spelled out the much-needed relief for students across the city, the Tamil Nadu government has stuck to its stand and moved the Supreme Court in the uniform system of school education. Today, the Jayalalitha government filed its appeal seeking stay of the High Court order. Now, the petition by Tamil Nadu said that it was not against the implementation of the uniform system of school education and that it wanted to defer its implementation just so as to ensure the High Court's earlier judgment in the case. The idea was also to bring in the system with the Central Act. Now, the Supreme Court is likely to take up the case on Thursday. That's the day after. Now, yesterday, the Madras High Court had struck down the Jayalalitha government's Amendment Act to defer the implementation of the uniform system. The High Court ordered the system to be implemented this academic year. In addition to the appeal at the Apex Court today, a petitioner in the common syllabus case filed a caveat. A caveat petition was filed so that they could be part of the ensuing legal process at the Apex Court. Meanwhile, in a significant twist in this saga, the leader of the opposition, also the DMDK chief, Vijay Kant, has urged Amma to accept the uniform syllabus judgment only to end the impasse over non-distribution of textbooks to school students. In fact, in that statement, Vijay Kant has said that there was no dispute that the quality of the uniform syllabus introduced by the previous regime was of poor quality and urged the ruling government to edit the school textbooks which eulogize the former chief minister. Asking for a comprehensive educational reform act to ensure quality education for all, Captain has also asked the government to accept the High Court verdict only to ensure the smooth functioning of schools. And our principal correspondent, Peer Muhammad, who has been tracking the story and the latest developments very closely, join us live right now. Peer, are students of Chennai actually going to get their books this Friday as ordered by the Madras High Court, or is it going to be back to square one for the schools and the students now that this appeal has gone over to the Supreme Court now?
Evelyn, all depends on the hearing at the Supreme Court on Thursday, because now the ball is in the Supreme Court's it's before the Supreme Court and they have to decide which textbooks have to be used for the current academic year. But Tamil Nadu government seems determined that they can win this case before the Supreme Court, because what they have said in the petition filed before the Supreme Court is that the Madras High Court ignored the 9-member expert committee report which said that the uniform syllabus textbooks cannot be introduced in the schools because they are full of mistakes, and even they called some of the translations from Tamil to English atrocious. And ignoring such an opinion from the 9-member expert committee, the Madras High Court has delivered the judgment. This is the prime point on which the Tamil Nadu government is going to argue before the Supreme Court on Thursday when the case comes up for hearing. The senior counsel P.P. Rao, who has appeared for Tamil Nadu government before the Madras High Court in this case, will also take up the arguments before the Supreme Court. And the Advocate General Namanitha Krishnan, who was speaking to us, was very confident that the position of Tamil Nadu government was legally sustainable. It is also because the Tamil Nadu government has also submitted before the Supreme Court only to comply with the earlier directions of the Madras High Court judgment that this step is taken by the Tamil Nadu government. Particularly the amendment very clearly says we have not abandoned the uniform system of education, we are only postponing it. So depending on the arguments which are going to be placed before the Supreme Court, because the petitioner side, they are also going to be present. At least 2 petitioners have filed their KVA before the Supreme Court. They will also be part of the ensuing arguments in the Supreme Court. Depending on what the Supreme Court has to say, the students will get whichever textbooks the Supreme Court is going to ask the Tamil Nadu government to be distributed, that will be given to the students starting this Friday.
Right. Thanks very much indeed, Pete Muhammad, for joining us with those inputs there. But clearly, the ruling government looking at all legal options possible at this point of time. Now, the streets of Chennai have not been quiet post that judgment. CPM-backed youth organizations have raised slogans against the government's decision to appeal at the Supreme Court. Today, in a measure of controlling the crowds, police arrested 200 protesters outside the DPI compound. The agitating lot were demanding that the common syllabus be implemented soon enough.
மாணவர்களின் பெற்றோர்களின் நலனை கருதி தனியார் பள்ளி முதலாளிகளுக்கு ஆதரவான போக்கை கைவிட்டு உடனடியாக சமச்சீர் கல்வியை அமலாக்க வேண்டும்.
Moving over to a crime cracked in the city. Police have arrested a mason for allegedly murdering 27-year-old Nachal, a woman employed in the Bank of America, Chennai. The arrest has come within days of the murder in Mandaveli on Friday. The cops say money was the motive behind this murder. Our crime correspondent Salim adds more details.
27-year-old Marimuthu, a mason, accused of murdering Nachal, reportedly entered the house on the pretext of checking a seepage in the wall. After she opened the door, police say he threatened her to give up her jewels. Police also say when Nachal raised an alarm, Marimuthu strangled her.
To be sure that the person dies, so he picked up the plastic cover from the kitchen and tied the neck and removed the jewellery and cash and cell phone. The fingerprint has tallied to the accused.
This is not the first time that a woman home alone has been murdered in Chennai. Only last month, the double murder of sisters in Kumaran Nagar raised questions over safety of women at home. Police say that they are on the trail of that murder as well, where the murderer escaped with the jewels. The double murder is yet to be cracked.
In-depth study on all forms of violence against women reveal that the offenders are not professionals. They are opportunity criminals looking for easy money. The police say the best practice to avoid falling prey is to desist from displaying and discussing your wealth in the presence of strangers. In Chennai, Salim for Ndtv-Hindu.
Moving on, the menace of land sharks eating away the plots of land belonging to many in the city has been an issue of concern, of security and of fear for many people. But at a time when land grabbers have a keen eye not only on possible land but at an early construction stage even, the newly formed land grab cell has registered remarkable numbers.
We have close to about 90 cases which have been received during last fortnight. And the cases are handled through the special cell which has been formed. We have already arrested 18 persons so far in various cases. Total value of the property is very difficult for us to tell you offhand, but then it's a dynamic thing. Property value, value maro. So value I am not able to correctly tell you, but this is the progress and we are making speedy progress in investigation in all these cases.
Now, where the Southern Petrochemical Industries Corporation Limited, or SPIC, in Cuddalore has retrenched over 200 employees while permitting 30 others to continue with their work. The fired workers who reported to duty today were caught off guard when they were asked to return home. The company, with an investment of over 2,200 million rupees, produces penicillin amongst other enzymes. But in January, the penicillin production was stopped indefinitely, as a result of which 70 labourers lost their jobs with no notice. The angry workers staged a protest today against this unspecified notice of action. When we come back, a national award-winning director cooks up a star-studded combo meal, but will it get all the 5 stars for that lineup? Well, you decide when we come back.